College can be one of the most interesting and exciting times of your life. And near the end of that 4 years, as the senioritis kicks in, the excitement you had about finally graduating and getting your life started is quickly replaced with the suffocating stress of realizing that you need to find a job. And if you've ever tried to find a job, you'll know that looking for one can be a full-time job all on its own. And while seeing countless rejection emails from companies telling you that they found a more qualified candidate can be discouraging, it's not nearly as frustrating as what most places do nowadays, which is ghosting you entirely. And as you start to wonder if every decision you've ever made was a mistake while you begin considering going to grad school to stave off the student loan payments, I'm happy to let you know that it doesn't get any easier. But while finding a job can be a stressful experience, as long as you have a degree, you'll always have options. So you don't have to let the threat of unemployment ruin your last chance to get absolutely wasted with your classmates before you all go your separate ways. After graduating, one of the first things you'll realize when applying for jobs is that in addition to your degree, many companies will be looking for several years of industry experience to go along with your education. And after seeing this, you may ask yourself, well, how am I supposed to have several years of experience when I was in school for 4 years? My thoughts exactly. One of the ways many college students get this experience is by applying for an internship during or shortly after college. This can be a great way to secure employment early, as many companies hire interns to full-time positions after they graduate. Now, I've never actually seen this happen ever, but I hear it all the time from people over the age of 40, so that means it's definitely true. Regardless, internships are one of the most popular ways for young people to build up their resumes and increase their chances of getting hired. However, another drawback of internships is that many companies also assume that just because you're a student, that you don't need to eat. So instead of paying you fairly for several hours of work, they instead give you a company water bottle, a pat on the back, and a professional reference that they'll definitely answer the phone for. Now, if you're okay with spending your valuable time working for free, this can be a solid option. However, as a black person, the idea of offering free labor just sounded a little too familiar. But if you are lucky enough to find yourself a paid internship from a good company that offers fair hours and decent pay, it can put you one step closer to getting that full-time offer. But what if I didn't get an internship? That's fine too. That just means you need to do what everybody else does, and that's lie on your resume. At 22 years old, you probably don't have a lot of real professional experience outside of working the front desk at some building on campus and pretending to be important in student government as if anybody actually cares. So you just need to make the job sound as important as the SGA kids think they are. This is really simple, as all it takes is a little rewording to make your campus desk job sound like the greatest thing known to man. For example, instead of saying you worked at the information desk and kicked people out when the building was closed, you can say, managed a workforce of 20 employees with the purpose of providing superior customer service to the campus community, and coordinated with building administrators to ensure that all facility property was properly secured at the closing of each shift. And if that's too hard for you, there's always ChatGPT. One of the first things you'll probably consider when looking for a job is your major. This makes sense, as you likely picked it because it was a field you could see yourself working in. And I understand that, because I made a lot of bad decisions when I was 18 as well. Now, a lot of people tend to think that you shouldn't waste your time majoring in something you enjoy and instead major in something practical like engineering or one of the sciences. And while these can be very successful and rewarding careers, some of us actually want to have fun in college instead of spending our Friday nights trying to learn organic chemistry. So while you might not come out of college as a software engineer making $120K a year, majoring in the liberal arts opens the door to a lot of exciting opportunities post-graduation, like being unemployed. Either way, it's important to look for jobs in your field, since a lot of times your education can be used to make up for your lack of experience, making you more likely to get hired. For example, I majored in international affairs, and there are a lot of rewarding and lucrative careers for people with degrees in international affairs, like becoming a spy, joining the military, and wishing you made more money. The thing about careers in international affairs is that many of them are working for the federal government, so they can be very interesting jobs as long as you can find a way to sleep at night knowing that you're actively making the lives of innocent people overseas much worse. For example, I remember having a conversation with a classmate shortly before graduating where I asked him, "So what are your plans after graduation?" To which he replied, "Oh, I think I'm going to join the Air Force and become a drone pilot." And I immediately thought to myself, guess some people don't mind going to hell. And checking his Facebook post a year later, it seems he's well on his way there. But I can't be one to judge, because I was also ready to sell my soul to the government and join the CIA. But then I saw that they interview your friends and family about you as part of the background check, and I knew I'd never make it. Because if the CIA asked any of my friends about me, I'd be in Guantanamo Bay right now. Nonetheless, your major is an important factor in determining what jobs you might be best suited for. So be sure to apply for jobs in your field, because it's slightly less likely that hiring managers will completely ignore your resume you might just score yourself an interview. One more thing about finding a job is that sometimes it takes a very long time. And one of the first things people do is look at openings posted on job boards like Indeed and LinkedIn. This is a solid start, especially if you pay the $40 a month for LinkedIn Premium, which will allow you to message recruiters directly, only for them to still never respond. So as you scroll through what is arguably the worst social media site ever invented, you quickly begin to realize that not only are recruiters good at ignoring applications, they're also really good at lying. Growing up, we're often told that college graduates on average make more money than those without degrees, and that in general, college gives you a head start on adult life. What we aren't told is that this head start is immediately canceled out by the tremendous amount of debt that you'll be paying off for the next 10 years. Because while an 18-year-old with no credit can't get a loan for a $5,000 Honda Civic, it's completely okay to lend them $80,000 so they can drink alcohol and sleep through all their classes for 4 years. Then when you finally graduate, you get to start adult life with a 5-figure bill looming over your head. And this certainly doesn't make the job hunt any less stressful. But this isn't even the worst part, because being in debt isn't as bad as the self-loathing that starts to set in every day when you wake up and realize you're still unemployed. Because if you're broke and in college, it's understandable. But if you're not, then you're a worthless piece of garbage. Jokes aside, finding a job is a lot harder than it seems, and no matter what it is, being employed is still an opportunity that we shouldn't take for granted. At the same time, if you're someone who's looking for work right now, don't get discouraged. Life can be pretty hard when you don't have any money, but just know that as long as you're trying your best every day, that's all that matters. And I'm sure that a day is coming in the near future when you finally get a yes and you can start a successful career. Just remember that all good things take time. And if you're like me, you get let go from your first job out of college, you can just start making YouTube videos until you blow up or your parents finally kick you out of the house. Whichever comes first. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and drop a comment down below if there's something you want to see me talk about next. As always, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.